Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to my tutorial guides on AEM Designer. Today we're going to be looking at accessibility with regards to AEM Designer. And so Designer comes with a few tools that'll help out in making your forms fully ADA accessible, five-way compliant, all that good stuff. So first things first, the most useful overall tool among these is the accessibility macro. And this is kind of like the starting jumping off point, if you will. This will let you know what is going wrong with your form. Now, note this isn't complete as far as designer is concerned. It is all encompassing, but there are some other issues that this macro does not cover that are more outside of the scope of designer. I personally, as a best practice, would recommend using after you've run the accessibility macro in designer. I'd recommend bringing it into Acrobat and then running the accessibility checker on the form in there as well, so you can get um, a bigger overall picture of what could be going wrong with respect to accessibility in your form. That being said, let's check out the accessibility macro. So it's under Tools, Macros, Accessibility Checker, and it's going to check all of the following. And it's going to say, yep, we're going to allow it. There we are. So it's going to generate a PDF like this, and it's going to list out all the objects that have accessibility warnings. And you can see a lot of these issues right here. So fields have no assist text, no captions. A common one that you should double check. It isn't always a big deal, but something you should always double check is this warning right here in particular. Scripts is or are present on the form. You should check for accessibility violations. Now this is just a warning essentially. Basically, if you are all good on all the other issues, then you'll be fine for this script. This script essentially, if any of your scripts would cause a violation in any of these other areas, so fields having no assist text, if that were to be the case, then this would be a problem. But if that were to be the case, then you probably have not solved all these issues. If you have solved all these issues, then a script probably will not cause any new ones. So that being said, let's solve some of these. So field has no caption, and that is, so which field is that in particular? Deviation number subform text 21. Okay. Deviation number dot subform dot text 21. Here we go. Okay, so this text field has no caption or assist text for that matter. So the way we would fix those two issues are over here in the accessibility pane. Okay, and assist text or caption. So the assist text would just be this. So custom screen reader text. So over here you would place a description for what the screen reader should say when it encounters this text field. So you should, for our text field for the deviation number, you could just put in something to that effect. Keep in mind that the screen reader is going to be speaking these words out to the person who requires the assistive technology. So you want it to make sense, to them, so they know that they are able to enter the data into that field. So that's the assist text for us. Similarly, to add in the caption, we would just do that over here. We would fill in our caption just like that. So for this text field, in this particular case, we have a separate text object functioning as our caption. So to make this fully accessible, we would just make that our caption. Like that. And then we would just get rid of this text object. So delete. And then we could just make this encompass the whole text box. Just like that. And so, yeah, and then we could do some more fiddling with it if required. So that's the accessibility pane over here. Lastly, let's look at the tab order. So this will be very quickly because if you are designing a form well, then all of your hierarchy will already be in order, in which case all you have to do is make the tab order automatic. And you can click on a particular object and you can, use your arrow keys to key throughout the document. And you'll just go in the order of the content in your content hierarchy. And essentially, you need to check that your tab order is correct. But again, if your hierarchy is correct, then your tab order will be correct if you make it automatic. So you can do a custom ordering if you like, but quite frankly, I don't see it as necessary. if your hierarchy is fine. So that's a brief introduction to the accessibility tools within AEM Designer. Of course, I would recommend that once I finish filling out all the issues within the accessibility macro, I would then later bring this document into Acrobat and run the accessibility checker within Acrobat just to make sure it is 5-way compliant and fully ADA accessible. But that's outside the scope of this video. Anyway, that's all there is to that. Next time, we're going to be looking at the next few videos. These are going to be some best practices with respect to a designer. For this first video on best practices, I'm going to show you how to bring in an existing form into Designer. Until then, take care.